Hey guys, how you doing?
Party people, how you feeling?
All right, everybody ready to talk some Bucs football? Welcome to What's Cooking in the South. I'm your host, Rick Hughes. I am ready to talk some Bucs football, like always. We got all kinds of things to talk about. The disaster, the debacle, whatever you want to call what happened against the Titans. But more importantly, let's look forward and talk about Houston, and we can always even talk a little Dallas. It really is kind of getting to be that time, guys. It's finally getting to be that time. The world's longest off season, and if you doubt me, ask anybody here at Bucs Report just how long this off season has felt for us. It's amazing. It's the shortest off season, but it felt like forever. But anyway, before we get kicked off, I like to kick off this show with a little something called Food. Guys, let's talk a little bit about, of course, what do we always seem to talk about? Tom Brady. Let's talk about Tom Brady and the fact that Tom Brady, we all know he loves football. Okay, we all know that. We all know he actually loved football even in New England, but there's something different going on. And Peter King wrote an article about it. And basically what this discussion was about is that Tom Brady loves his role in Tampa. He loves having more control. He loves having more input and sort of being a player coach. He relishes that role. He loves that role. And he says he's found his own voice. And let me give you this is a quote from Peter King. He says, I've taken his temperature over a lot of years. And what I found in 19 minutes with him the other day was the kind of happiness and contentment we'd all want to have in the twilight of our professional lives. His 14-year-old son, Jack, is a ball boy at camp this summer, and dad and son have been playing catch a lot. Brady is mentoring another kid receiver in camp, fourth-round rookie Jalen Darden of North Texas, a continuation of the fulfillment he's gotten as a, listen to this, guys, as a player coach since arriving here last year. And the football, it's just something he feels more in control. Guys, Tom Brady's happy. Tom Brady is happy in Tampa. Tom Brady is happy as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. The greatest football player of all time is happy being a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. For those who've been around, that's news. That's something new. That's something we're not used to. That's a beautiful thing. And he has recently alluded to the fact that he may not just play till he's 45. That would be next year. He may play beyond that. Guys, this may not be a 1 year, 2 year kind of a deal. This may go into 3, 4, maybe 5. Who knows? Okay. The thing is this. Tom Brady likes being in Tampa. I saw an article the other day where somebody was saying this may be the best year of his career ever. You can look forward to this being one of the best years of Tom Brady's career ever. In Tampa as a Buccaneer. And then there's the other half that are whining about Jameis Winston having a good game against the Jacksonville Jaguars in preseason. I know which side of this puzzle I want to be on. It's good being a Buccaneers fan. Would you rather be a Bucs fan or a Saints fan right now? I think the answer is pretty clear. So stop whining. Stop talking Jameis. I don't care if you talk Jameis. It's kind of fun to talk Jameis. But stop stressing over Jameis having a good game. He had a good game or two for the Bucs. Simmer down, Sparky. Simmer down. Okay? It's not that big of a deal. He had a good game against the worst team in the league in preseason with a rookie head coach who's never coached in the NFL. It's all good. It's all good. All right, guys. That's just a little food for thought for today, and I want to hear from you guys. I'm looking in chat. Hi, Pamela. How you doing? Christopher Cole, Drew Pagonis. How you guys doing? Matt Colson and Juan Tank Chavez. How are all of you doing tonight? And you guys know the question. If you're here on this show, you got to answer one question, miscreants. All of you guys in the chat room there. What'd you have for dinner tonight? That's what I want to know. What did you have for dinner? I want to hear from you guys. Tell me all about that. Guys, there is so much to cover. The main thing to cover is Ryan Succop tests positive for COVID after going out and having dinner with a bunch of Tennessee Titans. Now he's fully vaccinated, and that changes all the rules and all the way that it all plays out and how long he's going to be out, etc. He doesn't have to be out for the mandatory 14 days. It's just he just needs a couple of tests. That's all that matters. Ryan Succop is not going to be playing this weekend for the Buccaneers, which I think is a good thing because I really want to see this guy, Borgalis, I think is how you pronounce his name. I may be saying that wrong, who apparently has been a beast in camp, kicking 60-plus yarders, etc. So I'm looking forward to seeing him get a little bit of game action. I don't know about you guys. Let's see. What do we got here for dinner? We got well, I saw it just a second ago. Some people were nachos. Hi, Rick and nachos. There's a sentence for you. Thanks, Pam. Appreciate that. Matt Colson had Kraft mac and cheese. Matt, you are so white. Teresa had pork chops, mashed potatoes, and peas. Nice. Very nice. Teresa, you're not. That's awesome. That sounds really, really, really good. Christopher Cole, I think you may be the winner, my friend. 2 chocolate chip pancakes. I think you might be the winner. That sounds pretty awesome. All right. So you guys came in rare form tonight. Thank you. Juan had empanadas or empanada. I don't know how you say it. Empanada. I don't know. With a side salad. All right, guys. I want to hear from you. I do want to hear from you, and I'm going to put the invite link in chat so you guys can come on. First thing I'm going to do is bring on someone here who will be joining me on the Buccaneers on the Bucs Report post game show on the Sports Talk Florida networks, all the radio stations. This will be my partner in crime. I don't know what the right word is, but nothing but trouble. David Whitescarver. Dave, before you speak on this show, you got to answer. What'd you have for dinner?
I'm not going to tell you that because I haven't had it yet, but I'll tell you what I had last night. I made
No. I will boot you off this show, Dave.
Boot me off. Well,
I will boot you off the show. What are you going to have for dinner?
I had a bowl of cereal. I feel embarrassed.
Oh, no, that's fine. We've had people say Pop-Tarts. You're fine.
No, I didn't have. Well, it was with almond milk, so I mean, it had a little bit of nutritional quality.
What kind of cereal? What kind of cereal?
Greenwise, can I say that? Greenwise, Raisin Bran.
Not like Lucky Raisin Bran. Okay, no. That works. That works. Okay.
I'm not young anymore.
No, that's fine. I mean, I would have preferred Raisin Bran, would have preferred Lucky Charms or something like that.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
Okay, so
you didn't say the most important thing about Tom Brady. I just have to interject there.
What?
What's the most important thing Tom Brady has said since he's got to Tampa Bay?
That he likes being here. What? No, that his favorite ring is the next one?
More specific.
Then his favorite ring is the next
cold.
One?
He hates the cold. I mean, that goes right into the thought that Tom Brady loves it here, but he's made it very clear that he hates the cold. So, so that
Yeah,
just
as long
reinforces how much he loves it here. The greatest
yeah.
of all time is on your team. You just won a Super Bowl, and he's happier, and life is good.
That's the weird part. That honestly is the weird part, Dave. You've been now for those. Let me tell you guys a little something. Dave and I have actually known each other since kindergarten, I believe it was. Correct?
That or first grade? I'd
First
have to think
grade,
about it.
whatever.
It's
But
back
at
there.
Shenandoah Elementary School in Orlando, when he and I were basically the only two Buccaneers fans running around in year one of the franchise, running around wearing Bucs shirts while everybody else wore Dolphin shirts just a few years off their perfect season, and we got abused brutally.
Yes, we did. I'm still in therapy, but it's not as much as it used to be.
Yeah, after last year, it's definitely less. And the Dolphins, since the Bucs have come into existence, the Dolphins haven't won a Super Bowl. Just saying.
No, they have not.
And the Bucs have won how many? 2. Remember, that's in for Antoine Winfield. That's how many Super Bowls they've won. So anyway, I'm looking forward to the post game show with you, Dave. I think we're gonna have a whole lot of fun.
Yes, we are.
Yep, Florida Sports Talk or Sports Talk Florida will never be the same. I can tell you that. Sports Talk Florida is.
It will be forever changed for good or for bad or for something in between. It will be different.
That's right. We will cause some trouble. Johnny Dean had fruit salad. Kyle had burritos. That's nice. Matt Colson says cereal is great. Oh, Matt, I'm in agreement with you here. Captain Crunch Berries for the win. Yeah, that is. Crunch Berries were awesome.
Can't argue.
I've not had those in a long time. They always turned your milk pink. That was awesome. But okay, guys, answer this for me in chat. What is your favorite breakfast cereal? For me, it's Lucky Charms. It's just always been a go-to. I like weird cereals too, though. I mean, I like Frosted Mini Wheats, especially the cinnamon kind. But I've always liked Frosted Mini Wheats, and the really weird one. You guys ready? Grape Nuts. I always like Grape Nuts. Insert joke here. But I've always liked Grape Nuts. Anyway. Yeah, I just admitted that publicly,
I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't even know how to reply to that. But that has always been that's always been one of my favorite kind of things. Come on, miscreants, where the heck are you tonight? I want some of you guys to be hopping online here. I'm expecting you guys. Matt, where are you? Teresa, why is nobody coming online? Johnny Dean, where the heck are you guys? I want to see you guys. Drew Pergona says cinnamon toast crunch. That's that there's a winner. I got to go with that. Cinnamon anything though. I think I've told you guys, if you don't know this is a confession. I don't want you all to know this, and this is from the bottom of my heart. I have a problem. I have an addiction, and it is cinnamon. I don't mean the girl that's down at I don't know, the Cheetah Club or whatever. I'm not talking that cinnamon. I'm talking, I have a problem with actual cinnamon. Like, I'm addicted. It's an issue. If I buy a cinnamon roll, I'll sprinkle more cinnamon on it. It's just a problem. Anyway, it gets bad. Christopher Cole says Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes. All right.
We have a Raisin Bran vote too.
Well, Raisin Bran is good. Raisin Bran is good. I got no issue with that. So, okay. So anyway, let's get back to the Bucs. So Brady loves being here. Brady loves being a Buccaneer. Dave, you've been a fan, like I said, since year one. What does that do to you? Does that play with your brain a little bit when you realize he loves being a player coach?
I don't know how to handle it, because I remember like Bo Jackson saying there's no way that I'll ever play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Don't pick me first. And they picked him first. And sure enough, he never played for the Buccaneers. And then there's our good friend Jake Plummer, who decided, is it the Bucs or professional handball? Well, I'm going to do professional handball. So this is what, as a Buck fan, if you've been with the team through the years, this is what you're used to. So have somebody, arguably the greatest quarterback. I mean, he's not arguably. He's the greatest quarterback.
I was going to say, there's no argument.
I mean, there's no discussion. And he is happy in Tampa Bay. He loves it. It's very warm in Tampa, and he hates the cold. So I mean, it's just wonderful. But
and he's having such a good time. Yeah, and he's having such a good time. He wants to keep playing in Tampa. The greatest football player of all time. It's not debatable. It really is not debatable. And even if you say, okay, he won 7 Super Bowls, he's been to 10. Okay? He's been to 10. 10. I mean, the Buccaneers franchise, which is actually a little older than he is, has only been to 2. Now they won them both. But the thing is, this is awesome, guys, because the future looks like now it's a hard thing to become. And Johnny, I wish you could get on here right now. It's a hard thing for someone to become, or for a team to become a multiple Super Bowl winner. And this team is one, and it's looking forward to more. This is exciting. Let me bring in Matt from Oklahoma City here. Let me bring in Matt. Hey, how we doing, brother?
I'm trying to turn your volume off on the phone and the TV and put it back over here where I can talk to you without echo all over the place.
Oh, okay. No, you're good. We hear you good. We hear you good. So Matt, by the way, here, for those who don't know, Matt and Stephen Glasgow and Teresa host a show on the Bucs Report Network called Miscreant Mayhem. It's on Saturday nights at 10 o'clock. Is that correct?
9 o'clock after the season starts.
Oh, 9 o'clock after the season starts on Saturday nights. And so a good place to go get some Bucs talk the night before the game. But how you doing tonight?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, I guess. I didn't even remember that you were on tonight, to be honest with you, and then everything started popping.
That hurts.
Dude, it's been that kind of day. I didn't know today was Tuesday until the garbage man went by. And I had 2 full cans I needed to get rid of.
Yeah, I did that the other day, and I was stuck there, and I'm like, where am I putting my trash for the week? I don't know what I'm going to do. What was it? I forgot. What'd you have for dinner?
Tonight was the box of blue. I always go top brand.
Oh, I know. That's right.
Macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Not the store brand, not the good stuff, not the yellow box with black letters. I can't do that stuff. I don't know what they make the cheese out of. I think it's sawdust with a little milk. But I'm known to eat that on a lot of occasions because it's simple. And as you said, I'm kind of white. And I guess that's...
Well, that's just kind of how it works. But there's, it's funny because when it comes to like mac and cheese, my mom made the Kraft stuff. Some, not every time, but sometimes growing up, and I don't care if people always do this. They go, "That's not really, that's not real macaroni and cheese." It still tastes good. Okay. It's like saying, yeah, okay, Domino's and Pizza Hut and all that, they're not real pizza. Yeah. Okay. But you know what? It still tastes good.
Well, and the people that go to a church social or a potluck dinner or whatever, and they make mac and cheese and they boil up the shell macaroni because you can't use the noodles. You got to use the shell things because it costs 50 cents more. And then they get the different cheeses, like a brick of every flavor of cheese, and spend the time to cube all that up and then stick it in the hot noodles and keep it moving around. All the work I can get done with that Kraft stuff in 8 minutes. It's a beautiful thing.
That's what I like about that's what I like about Hamburger Helper. Okay.
I'm a big fan of that too.
Yeah, I like Hamburger Helper, and again, it's not like everybody acts like you've got to be a chef. You've got to be like if they have, I don't know, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, the way they describe it is like a peanut butter puree on a brioche roll with a fine fruit preserve. I mean, okay, you got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Stop it. I mean, I don't know. It's I guess to me, it's everybody just relax, man. I mean, you had a peanut butter and jelly, you had Kraft mac and cheese, and it's freaking good. Whatever. It was like, Dave was sitting here saying, I'm embarrassed to say I had cereal. There's not one person, I promise you, in this chat right now that would never do that.
Yeah, I went Pop-Tarts one night and Rick just about fell out. He didn't know what to do.
I was cracking up. What'd you have for dinner? Well, that's where you go around the group, and Harry, of course, Harry's always like, well, I had this blah, 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 blah. He's always got this big long explanation. And I get to Matt, and Matt's like, Pop-Tarts. It was awesome. Yeah, that was awesome. Okay. Let's see here. Andrew Faubert. Andrew, you're out there. Come on, buddy. Get out and get on here, Andrew. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna bring more folks on the screen. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna get a little crazy. I expect a little weirdness. And speaking of little weirdness, right on cue, couldn't have said that much. This couldn't happen much better. Here is the dude. How you doing, dude?
Wait, so I'm getting introduced as the epitome of weirdness? Okay.
I said little weirdness. Now I said little weirdness.
That sounds like a brand new Adam Sandler movie or something.
I could see that. How's it going, man? What'd you have for dinner?
Dude, lasagna. What?
Nice. Very nice. Excellent.
So, hey, what's going on, everybody here on camera, including this child who we probably shouldn't be talking to this late at night? Who is that?
I'm a little uncomfortable. What's he doing past his bedtime?
Up in the kitchen. You never want to ignore the ding in the kitchen. Just
Smart man.
No matter what her name is.
Hey, I was going to say, back in the 70s, ding meant in the kitchen meant dingbat.
Yeah.
Or the dingbat you were dinging. Could be that.
Hey, I know this is a Bucs show, and I know we, lean on NFL talk, but I haven't noticed much buzz today about this college football conference realignment that is having. There was rumors that teams were leaving to go to the SEC, and the SEC would become this huge, big, dominant conference. Which, let's face it, they're already kind of dominant anyway.
Right?
Are they? Hold on. Are they?
I mean, the conference.
Yes, they are.
I mean, the conference itself has more championships than everybody.
I agree, but not in the last 5 years.
It came out earlier today that the Atlantic Coast Conference, the Big Ten, and the Pac-12 are going to merge. And so what we have now is basically, and this is what I don't think anybody's thinking about, college football. We know they have the NIL name, image, likeness agreements now for the players. So players, at least some, are getting paid, right?
Right.
Now you basically split the country into two with these two mega conferences.
Right.
And it's going to be a little more NFL style, I would think, as far as how the championship is done. Are we moving to a playoff now?
Well, we've got a playoff. You're playoff.
Okay. No, see, I don't call that playoff. I call that a round robin or a tournament or something. It's 3 games.
I don't even know what you call that crap, because I mean, here's my whole issue with it is there's no way you can have a true playoff. And the whole voting teams in, I get it. It's part of history. It's the way college football's been done, blah, blah, blah. But the thing that I hate about it is it's, okay, you're starting every year. Alabama is in, whether they have 1-2 losses, it doesn't really freaking matter. It's just for television revenue. Alabama's in. All right, Clemson's going to be in because they'll probably earn their way in. Ohio State is going to be in. So there's basically one spot for playoffs. You get one shot.
And that small of a playoff field literally eliminates the chance of a Cinderella story at all.
Talk about that, Dave. Talk about the Cinderella story with who got screwed?
UCF.
Yeah.
We'll fill in the blank. Cincinnati last year. It's whoever comes out undefeated of the group of 5. If they're not going to get in, that's the bottom line. You have a group of 13 people. 11 of them are from Power 5 conferences. There's no chance that that's going to happen. So whoever the group of 5 is, they'll throw you a bone. Here, go play in the Peach Bowl, but you're not playing for a national championship. That's the bottom line.
Regardless of how good you are.
Regardless. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
And that's the thing. And the playoffs system, the argument, let's just put it this way. They bounce from argument to argument against doing it. But Division 2, Division 3 pulls it off. Granted, it's a different level of football, but it's still the same time frame of game. It's still the physicality. So why not just back every team down to 10 regular season games and have a legitimate playoff? The top 4 teams from each conference, and just do it.
And if you don't make the playoff, you can go to bowl games and stuff like that, so you can still get in your extra games.
Yeah,
don't the bowl games want to have a little bit of a notoriety? I mean, it used to be when I was a kid. Every year it was the Rose Bowl. You watch the Rose Bowl parade, and then you watch the game, and it was all.
But there's still all those. They still have the Rose Bowl every year with the parade.
Right, but I don't care anymore. It used
You
to be a
do
thing.
because sometimes the Rose Bowl is the national championship.
Yeah, it's in the national championship and playoff rotation. My whole thing, I get the nostalgia. We all loved bowl games. We all loved New Year's Day. There used to be 6 games on,
right?
plus parades and all this other stuff and fanfare.
Yeah,
but the game and society is changing, and now with these licensing agreements, you've got freshmen walking in with 6 figures in the bank.
Yeah. Wow. By the way, Johnny Dean, welcome to the show. How you doing tonight?
He's not Batman, just so you know.
How's it going, buddy? How's it going?
Good. What'd you have for dinner?
Batman, maybe.
I told you, a fruit salad.
A fruit salad. That's right. I'm sorry, Johnny.
Sometimes you got
reading your comments wasn't the only thing on my mind.
Did he say he's Bruce Allen?
He had fruit. The bat had fruit salad.
Oh, fruit salad. Oh, ew, gross. I had lasagna.
Yeah, you win. You win.
I think that
is. Hey, Johnny Dean, tell us when your show's on real quick before you get mad.
Thursday nights at 9:30 p.m. The NFL edition.
Doesn't he sound happy to be here?
Sorry,
gun to your head, man.
And Alex Loosemore.
Yeah.
I started.
No, and let me tell you something, Johnny. Your show is one of my favorites on Bucs Report. I love the show. Thursday at what time?
9:30 p.m.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, that it is one of my favorite shows. I love it. It's great NFL talk, great NFL info. You know, I love the Bucs, and I like mostly talking Bucs, but every once in a while, Thursday nights, I like to get my fill and get my info, and that's a great place for that. I really do love that show.
And real quick, not to interrupt, because that's what I'm good at, right? I just want to put this disclaimer out there. All these voices you hear on this show are our own. We hold the copyright for these voices. Thank you. Have a nice day.
There's a backstory to that, folks. Facebook can be a little bit of a challenge when it comes to.
Hey, when Facebook is fact checking the Tom Brady obviously fake jugs video where he throws the ball into the jug machine and tips it over,
right?
When they're sending out and flagging you for fake news or misinformation for that, there's an issue here, Facebook. Please address it.
Wow. It's ridiculous.
Oh, you know what else, Facebook?
For me, I got a history of being in the Facebook jail for nothing. They just don't like the way I say.
Matt, why does that not shock me coming from you?
Well,
because there's a certain term you used to be able to use that you can't use anymore. That Johnny hates politics, so I'm not going to go too far into it. But if you put it in a post, the wrong verbiage, boom, out the gate you go.
It's not just Johnny that hates it. You got me on here too.
I know.
We don't want to go there.
I just want to point out, hey, Facebook, just as a heads up, you fact checked the Tom Brady throwing the ball into the jug machine video. Okay. Also, on that same page, which every outlet shared, the Tom Brady throwing the ball to the moon video was fake too. Just so you know.
Wow.
Just so you know.
Yeah, they didn't fact check that one.
Shocked.
Yeah, they didn't.
That wasn't Elon Musk. That wasn't an Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos football. He did not.
Yeah, back in the day, what'd we do? We would launch monkeys into space to test vehicles. Now we launch billionaires. I mean, to me, I would call that progress.
I think it's just rich monkeys now, right?
That's what I said. Billionaires.
Rich monkeys.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk football. Oh, and by the way, Facebook, that opinion I just gave out, that was my own. Okay, go ahead.
And mine. I'll go along with you on that.
He's claiming copyright on his diatribe. That's funny.
Yeah. All right. I mean, that's right. There you go. There you go.
Copyright, mofo.
Okay, guys. This week, the Bucs game against Houston. They are planning on their starters playing 2 quarters at least. Does that bother anybody else on here other than me?
Yes, up to this point, they've been pretty much injury-free. The injury report is like crickets, and I want to keep it that way. I don't see the point. Even if Houston's at full strength, well, what have you proven? Nothing, because it's Houston. So I don't see why you're going to play your starters for that long.
Is Tampa going to tolerate having Jameis Winston have a better stat line in preseason?
Who cares? Oh, Lord. Who cares?
I will say this. If any Buccaneer, the game's in Houston, so if any Buccaneer gets injured, we know Houston has an excellent massage therapy industry.
Their therapy room is outstanding.
we can always get references directly from Deshaun. Actually, apparently it doesn't because he was flying them in.
See,
So-
what he should do is he should open a massage parlor in Houston, just like a middle finger to everybody.
Yeah.
Call it Deshaun.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something?
I have no issues with that at all, man. I think that vets need to knock the rust off every once in a while. Yeah, they can get hurt just as easily in the first game of the season.
Now, are you
I'm
talking
glad-
about the preseason game or the
I
massage
know he
parlor?
scared me. I
I
thought he was talking about massages with these girls massaging. Yeah.
I mean, we do need to knock the rust off every once in a while, guys.
Well, call Bob Kraft.
Oh
Ew,
man,
gross.
yeah, Bob. That's that Rust Bob Kraft. Speaking
Hey,
of macaroni and cheese,
So Bob Kraft got caught in one of those massage parlors too, right?
In
yes, he
Miami,
was just
of all
he was just getting a massage.
And he owns Gillette Razor, right?
Yep.
right.
Okay, so now I have this vision of a 70-year-old clean-shaven man in my head. Ew,
Oh Lord.
You're being
Good
kind with his
Lord.
age.
looks like a dried fig.
Oh,
The whole body.
man.
Does Dave know what he was stepping into when he came out here?
I
I'm gonna need a
promise you,
shower
Dave.
after this.
Davis. Yeah,
Oh.
Davis sitting up there just going,
I,
"What just happened?"
Hey, this is called leadership without leadership here.
That's right.
I'm like, the show deteriorated very rapidly. Let me just
No,
put it out.
welcome,
That's
welcome.
what happens.
Welcome to What's Cooking in the South. And that's really a bad name right now when we're talking about Robert Kraft and massage parlors, but
And dried
um,
figs.
and dried figs.
But it's
but-
food tied in. See, I tied it into the food.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Johnny,
Yes, sir.
so you have no problem with them with the Bucs playing their starters into the second quarter. Here's my thought. And I normally would understand it. Okay. I normally would say you want to get your guys out there, but it's not like this team has to learn how to play with each other. It's not like
Nice words. Way to go, Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did that to myself, didn't I?
Yeah, sound effect.
Yeah. So while this team is learning to to play together, they don't need to. They did that all last year, didn't they? I mean, preseason was last year.
You take a
So
month off of some kind of physical activity that you normally do every day. It takes a little bit of time to get back to it. It doesn't take a lot, but it does take time to get that muscle memory working.
yeah, I get that. But so play a drive or two, and I promise you'll get it back pretty quick when Dallas is punching you in the face. I promise you, it's not going to take long.
Also, the players wanting to get out there on the field too.
Yeah, but I don't care what they think when it comes to this. I want them healthy and available, the following week. I mean, that to me, it's not literally the following week. It's a week and a half, but you know my point.
I wonder if Harry's got odds on whether or not Mike Evans gets a hamstring before the season starts.
He usually does before he gets out of bed. So
Right? I mean, he stretches not at all. And you'd think with TB12 in the house, he'd have some limberness to him. So.
Yeah, you would think, but apparently he absolutely has no
I
ability
think it's a hydration issue with him, honestly.
Well,
for
that
the
could
hamstring.
possibly be.
I don't
Yeah,
I don't know.
Lack of hydration will absolutely cramp you up.
Well, it'll
Well,
cramp
he
you
does.
up, but he's like tearing hamstrings. I mean, it's
That's a good
weird.
food
It's like
tie-in, too.
what's that?
You guys are doing really good tying it into the food.
Right,
I was
hamstring.
getting there.
Yeah, hamstring. Nice. I just to me, it's not just his hamstrings. He's always, every play, he's mad about this or that. There's always something. I mean, there's literally always something. It's complaining about the referees, complaining about the other player, grabbing his hamstrings, limping off. I mean, when he actually does do something like what he did with his ankle in, was it the Washington playoff game, or was it right before that, where he did like really look like he hurt himself, and then he comes back like the next week, everything's fine. But I mean, he catches a normal pass and somebody gives him a dirty look and he's in, he's limping for 2 days. I don't get it.
Well, the man still gets 1,000 yards with or without a limp. So
I am not
I think
dogging his ability. I am not dogging any of that. I mean, he's Mike Evans is the man. There is no doubt when it comes to that. He is the man.
I think it might be one of those cases where different people use different things to motivate themselves. And maybe him getting upset at an official or a player or the way his uniform is fitting, on his Snuggies, that might be the case.
So what motivates him? Apparently his own tears? Is that what you're saying?
Well, like his own anger, like he channels his anger into competitive edge or something. I don't know. Some people
right
have
on
to
the
drive
brink of
angry.
becoming the Hulk when he does that. He's putting his anger out there.
Okay.
The one thing I will say about Mike Evans is, and people are going to laugh at this, I think that whole college thing at Texas A&M, that was way more Evans than Johnny Football.
Yeah,
I also
You
think
think?
that Evans doesn't get the credit for a lot of the stuff he does off the field. Not that it matters at all on the scoreboard. It doesn't. But I don't know. I don't want to defend the guy because he's way bigger than me. But maybe he's just one of those guys that needs to be motivated, and that's what motivates him is being pissed off. I don't know. I will say this. Rick, I got an excellent idea that involves for a bit or something. And I'm not going to pitch it here to you live because that would be too awesome. But it involves different shades of redness of Bruce Arians' face, like the
Interesting.
Bruce
Okay.
Arians meter.
Oh, that's kind of awesome. That works.
He's
And
got
we
a
can-
mood ring for a mug.
We
That's
can
pretty
pull
funny.
points of the game where the Arians meter was, pink or rouge or, fire engine red. So
That's awesome.
Or
and
That
like
is,
I think my
that
point
is
Red
actually
never
that's a
seen
great
before.
idea.
and I think my
I
point
thought
was
you
is
said
that
you weren't
Arians-
going to pitch it right here on the air.
Well, I'm not. I think the point was that Arians gets mad, and that's
Isn't
part
that
of
what he
how
just
he
did?
coaches it to style. Maybe that's Mike Evans' style of playing.
Could be.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, NASCAR drivers, not necessarily the same kind of sport thing, but okay, NASCAR drivers have angry drivers and calculated drivers. You have angry boxers who just go out and brawl and live off of that and hype. You have other ones that are tacticians and take their time. So maybe that's what it is with Mike. What I will say about Mike is,
Fair enough. His
if
hamstrings are
if
what motivates him.
you have Tom Brady on your team, bro, and you're having trouble with your hamstrings and stuff like that, little nagging stuff, may I suggest you ask him about TB12? 'cause
Exactly.
He looks like he's getting younger. And I mean, has anybody else
The
noticed that
dude
Rob
is
Gronkowski?
he's going full Benjamin Buttons, isn't he?
He is. Has anybody else noticed that Rob Gronkowski has old man pectoral muscles?
Hadn't looked that close.
Like Rob Gronkowski without a shirt looks like Ric Flair.
oh man.
Look at it.
Oh,
There's a man who's
man.
gotten a lot out of a syllable. I don't even think woo is a word, but it's a syllable, but he has gotten decades out of that.
He's maximized it. Yeah. Eesh. I don't know.
Like I said, Matt, Google that Rob Gronkowski shirtless only because I want that in your browser history. But but you'll see
I'm gonna
what
do it. I'm gonna do it and I'll post it in the messenger just for everybody to get a full Monty on him. How about that?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Hey, let's do this, guys. Guys, I'm gonna go to a quick commercial break, and we will be back here very shortly. Okay.
Bum, 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 bum.
This is Mike from QB54. We're at Santa Monica, California on the beach, just letting you know you can play this game anywhere. So here's an idea. We're going to show you what a completion is. You hit the chair on the fly, it's 3 points. Check it out. So when you're throwing the ball and you get it into the basket, you get 6 points for a touchdown. After you get the 6 points, you get to kick the extra point through the uprights for 1 point. There's also an interception rule where if you're playing defense, if any part of the chair goes up in the air and you catch it before it hits the ground, that's an interception. Defending team gets 3. Scoring goes like this. First to 54 wins. You switch every 12. So the leading team that hits 12, 24, 36, and 48, you switch at those intervals. Team has to win by 2, and the losing team gets last licks. And the last rule is the fits. It's very hard to film, so I'm just going to explain it to you. It's only happened twice. First by a guy by the last name of Fitzgerald, and that's why we're calling it the fits. If you kick the extra point, goes short, and it goes in the basket, you win regardless of score. Done. Game over, sudden death win.
I think it's weird that they call it the Fitz because of somebody named Fitzgerald. I think it should be Fitzpatrick, which, by the way, brings me to this point. Apparently today, the Atlanta Falcons signed or are signing Josh Rosen.
Hey, now.
I think this is his 5th or 6th team. He is literally catching up to Ryan Fitzpatrick in number of teams, and he's done it in like 1/3 the time. And everybody talks about how much, oh man, Fitzpatrick, Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's been with so many teams. He's such a journeyman. Josh Rosen literally has more teams than he has years in the league. I mean, that's insane.
I think you have to count Fitzpatrick as playing with those teams, though.
Yeah, and Fitzpatrick did play with them. Yeah, Josh Rosen just goes and literally, when they say, has a cup of coffee, he's barely there long enough to finish that cup of coffee. Right.
Well, he did play 1 year, right?
What?
Didn't he get to start 1 year? And
he did start. Yeah. Furthering my point on this guy, he started 1 year and no coach, and that coach got rid of him, and no coach since has let him near the field.
Right.
I mean,
he played for Arizona too, like Jake Plummer, right?
Yeah, back to Plummer. It's a second Jake Plummer reference.
Well, Kyler Murray took his job just because it was Kyler Murray. The coach,
or just because. Job.
Hold on. Not just because he's Kyler Murray. Let's point something out. When the Bucs drafted Jameis Winston, they didn't draft another quarterback the next year in the first round.
They should have.
Okay. Maybe. No, I'm glad they didn't, because if they found another quarterback that they liked, we wouldn't be sitting in the position we're in right now with, I'll say it again, the greatest player of all time playing for the Buccaneers, and he's happy. Now, we've got all old timers here who've liked the franchise for a very, very long time. All of us here have liked them for a very long time. I mean, does that not freak any of you guys out? Johnny, does that freak you out a little bit that the greatest of all time, he's not just playing here. He loves being here. He's trying to play longer here, and he loves being, and I know this is right up your wheelhouse, Johnny. He loves being a player coach.
Absolutely. I mean, he's got freedom now.
Yeah.
They took the cuffs off of him, man. Look how he bloomed.
Yeah. And it's hard. How do you bloom after 6 Super Bowls? I mean, think about that.
Wait a minute. Take a picture of his draft picture and watch the progression of each year. And now he looks younger than any of them.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I just think it's funny, though. You're right. He's happier. He says he's found his voice. There's all of this all of this. Brady wants to be here. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He doesn't want the career to end. He wanted out of New England. He doesn't want out of Tampa. I mean, and that's the fun part, is what we thought, we'll get him for 1 or 2 years. He's playing longer. Absolutely. And I mean, how fun is that, guys? Look at what we stumbled into. It's like,
if everything stayed the same, Rick, it'd be great. But sooner or later, Belichick's going to be right. He can't play till he's 50. It just won't happen.
No, so I understand that. Well, I'm not going to say he can't. I'm not going to say he can't. Okay? I refuse to say Tom Brady can't do anything. Okay? Well, I understand your point. Father Time's going to win. Okay? At some point, he's going to not be able to play anymore.
He's batting 1,000.
Yes. But when it comes to that, okay, you've got, yes, Father Time's going to get him, but what we thought was going to be 1 or 2 years, maybe that stretches into 3 or 4 years. 3 or 4 years with the greatest of all time. Liking it here. His son is on the team as a ball boy. They're establishing roots with the Buccaneers. That's the thing, guys. They are establishing roots with the Buccaneers. The greatest football player of all time. I mean, that means something. That's crazy. I mean, all of us have been around for a long time. That's hard for me to process. I mean, I've told you guys before, with 2 minutes left in the Super Bowl and the Bucs up, 31-9, I'm still sitting there going, what's going to happen? How is this going to go wrong? I mean, I'm conditioned for this. I'm not conditioned to watch what's happening, and it's exciting to be a Bucs fan. And it's fun to be a Bucs fan now. And people talking about Winston having a great game against Jacksonville in preseason, I mean, come on, guys. First of all, let's pretend for just a moment. Everybody go on a little journey with me, and let's pretend Jameis Winston does well for the Saints. Let's pretend Jameis plays the next several years, and he actually has a good career with the Saints. Would you trade what we have now to get Jameis back?
No.
Not a chance. So it's all good. It's fine. It's good. Good, good for him. Good. I hope you do well. Just don't do that well against us. Okay? I don't wish the guy harm. You don't have to hate the man. You can be a Bucs fan and not hate the man.
Yeah, but sooner or later, he's not going to beat the Jameis we saw Sunday or Monday, whenever it was.
Right.
Probably his next pass. That's when you'll see it.
I saw the same Jameis. I saw the same Jameis Monday night that I've seen for 4 years in Tampa Bay.
No, he connected on long passes.
Well,
The same
he did
play
connect
twice,
on long
though,
passes
Rick. It's the
before.
same
Jameis
play
was great
to the
down the
same-
center. He's never been good on the out routes and stuff. And
He couldn't hit Deshaun. He could not hit Deshaun Jackson anywhere. I mean, but I understand your point, but he was pretty much known for overthrowing deep routes, and but that's okay. But the thing is this: you don't have to hate the guy to be a Bucs fan.
I don't hate.
You don't.
Jameis. I think he's an average quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he's the greatest quarterback in the NFL. I don't think. Maybe with Sean Payton, he can get to a playoff game. But
Yeah.
I don't see Jameis. He hasn't really changed none. He's still
The decision maker. I hear you.
He's still throwing his receivers into double coverage. He's still throwing. He's not leading his receivers out there unless it's on those out routes.
Well, that's what they're going to ask him to do is throw safer routes. I don't think they're going to put him in that position.
And that's what I was saying at the beginning of the season. They're just going to try to contain Jameis.
Yeah,
not getting into trouble positions like
Jameis's problems are not going to be fixed. You can fix mechanics, you can correct footwork, but you can't correct turnovers. You can't correct bad decision making. You can't correct someone who just doesn't have it. And he doesn't have it.
Stupid.
Well, he won a championship. Okay, he won a college football championship. So the guy, listen, it's not that the guy can't. It's not that the guy can't win. He won a national championship in college. Okay, now and everybody understand. I'm all about Brady. I'm glad we got Brady. I'm glad Winston's gone. I'm happy that he's gone. We moved on. We needed to move on. It was good for us. It's probably good for Jameis. I've got no issue with that. I wanted Jameis to come here. It took me a few years to finally go, okay, it's time. Just it's time, move on. I was tired of the conversation, the same effing conversation over and over and over. And hearing Jameis say the same thing over and over after every freaking game. I'm just going to cut down on the turnovers. I mean, I was so sick of hearing it. And now, look, good for him. If he does well.
He's not going to change. You have to change your playbook to fit his strengths. That's what Sean Payton's doing, and that's an average playbook, basically.
If they succeed, if they succeed with him there with that average playbook, look, the Bucs won a Super Bowl with Brad Johnson. Okay, if they have an average playbook, okay.
I've seen more growth out of Taysom Hill than Jameis. I mean, Jameis is.
I don't think we've seen enough of Jameis to have an opinion. I mean, we've seen one game. I don't.
He deserves all the credit for winning that national championship, and I don't mean to take that away from him. But in the NFL, where everything's faster and you don't have weak links that you can pick on, everybody's strong. He does not have the skills, and he doesn't have the aptitude, and he's not able to make it happen.
Yeah, he does not have. He just has bad decision making. Period. What's that, Matt?
Most of the time, if you watch some of the videos of him screwing up, they're setting him up at the beginning before the snap in one look, and at the snap they switch. Whether it's going Tampa 2 to start with, and then they go into something else immediately. He never picked that up. He would say something like 56 the mic, and 56 would bust him in the mouth.
But listen, guys, we've got to understand this. And I've been saying this, and you guys know I've been saying this. New Orleans is not a bad team, okay? And they don't need, I mean, they have a good defense. They don't have to have this world-beating, incredible offense. They don't need it. And to be somebody that we're going to have to fight against.
Well, Trent Dilfer can get a ring, Jameis can.
And they had a quarterback last year who couldn't throw the ball more than 20 yards. Okay, and they still gave us fits, beat us twice, 2 out of 3 times. We won when it mattered. Okay, but the thing is, don't think the Saints are going to be a push.
Somebody push him over.
Don't think the Saints are going to be a pushover. Let me finish the sentence for him.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I agree with him. I agree.
They're having rough weather over in this part of the world.
But I mean, the Saints, they were a strong team last year. They could have made it to the Super Bowl if things fell their way. So they're not going to go away. They're not going to rebuild. They're going to reload, and they're going to make some tweaks, and they're going to see what they can do with Jameis. But
what they got out of that
over the years, that depth has it's stayed there. You might not know those people's names, but they've got players.
They most definitely do.
Yeah, and Kamara's going to give him a running game that he didn't really have in Tampa, Jameis.
Well, Murray's still there too, so yeah, they got a two-headed.
What happened to Rick? Is he completely gone? That means we're off the air. Oh no!
I see the little face plant. He probably kicked the machine again.
He might have had the cat come in and cancel him.
Oh no! Don't bring the producer back. So, have you guys discussed the Falcons at all?
Just the Josh Rosen transaction.
I see the Falcons in third place.
I don't. I think they're going to be in fourth.
I know you don't. You made that.
Hey guys, sorry, we lost power here.
Really? Is that what it was?
I finished your sentence for you, Rick.
Okay, thank you.
Like
no, that was it's crazy. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm guessing somebody hit a transformer or something outside because all of a sudden, boom, everything went off. And I mean, you could hear a big boom outside or a transformer blew. And then a couple of seconds later, the power came back on. So I guess it reroutes it, or I don't know what they do. But
yeah, when you live in a nice city, they have a switching station that overlays another switching station.
Yeah, I don't know. I live in Charlotte, and I'm hesitant to call it one of the nicer cities, but I guess it is.
There's a lot worse.
Big enough to have
yeah, there is a lot worse. But no, speaking of a lot worse, how about the Bucs special teams?
Is that what you call it? Special?
Yeah, it's special in some kind of way. Like they've just completely don't cover kicks. And now I've got a question about this. And Johnny, you would be good to answer this question. Do you believe it is because they're using guys who probably are not going to be on the team?
I think that's 50% of it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking probably was the issue.
I know about their blockers. I know about their gunners are doing really well, but the blocking and on a special team, especially on returns, oh my God, man.
Yeah.
That looked real good. He got the shoelaces off that one guy.
They're blocking the wrong directions half the time, dude.
Yeah.
You're trying to create a lane for your return man, and when you're blocking them into the lane, it's not a good look.
Right. Well, I mean, they've been terrible, and their returns, they're not. I mean, Jalen Darden, everything. I don't know who the coaches are. I'll be honest with you.
Keith
I don't know who
Tandy
our
is one
special.
of them.
Who?
Keith Tandy.
Okay.
Remember that name?
Yeah, I remember that name. So I like the fact that Arians likes to develop coaches, but I think we need some new special teams coaches because we weren't good last year. Our return game is terrible. I mean, it really is bad. And now, I mean, I don't remember getting killed as far as I don't think as far as our defensive stopping punt returns and kick returns, I think we were okay in that.
Right.
But we apparently just, I don't know if it's who they keep on the team. I don't know what they decide, whether, I don't know, but our special teams last year had some issues. And it seems like that's happening again. And speaking of issues, OJ Howard. Okay, the guy's kicking some rust off. I get it. But doesn't it seem, I mean, did you guys have any, Dave, did you have any flashbacks watching him drop those passes? Did that not remind you of what he's done in previous years?
Unfortunately, it did. We can make the rust excuse for only so long, but I mean, what are you doing during the week in practice? You should be getting your reps in. You should be getting your timing back, and when the game's on, it's time for you to shine. So yeah, it's a concern.
Yeah, Johnny. I mean, I guess, is this what you were talking about? Great, you can practice all day long, but it's different when you're out there in live fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're not running when you catch from a jugs machine in first place.
Yeah, don't you remember him dropping passes like that previously? Yeah, and that's where the problem comes in. And I mean, I'm getting a little tired of it. I mean, it is at some point.
And if you didn't have a history, it's one thing, but he's got a history, and it doesn't look like it's changing. He's not rewriting history. He needs to do it very quickly.
Well, he needs to stay healthy. That'll rewrite history for one thing. But if he stays healthy and can't catch a pass,
I got a take on that though, man. Win or lose. I mean, if OJ comes out and just blasts out the league, looking good as hell, like we would love to see him do.
Yeah.
He's not going to be with the team because we ain't going to be able to afford him then. If he comes out and craps the bed or gets hurt again, then he still ain't going to be on the team. So I don't see OJ with the Buccaneers in the near future anytime.
I think if OJ has a great year, you won't see Bright back because of the age. I think you would see OJ back. I think you would see Gronk probably take lower pay. I think you would see Gronk and OJ be the tight ends if OJ has a good year.
Well, then you got two other rookies right now that are behind him that are looking okay. Looking as good as he is, actually.
Well, let's talk Tanner Hudson.
Hudson either.
Yeah, let's talk about Tanner Hudson. Because Tanner Hudson, I mean, that guy, he was kind of everywhere, wasn't he?
Yeah. And
Rondé Barber calls him Mr. November or Mr. August.
Yeah, he was.
What it was.
I'm still angry that he couldn't break into an inside route when he was forced outside by a linebacker, and a tight end is not supposed to be forced outside by a linebacker.
And apparently he can't block your grandma.
Come on, man.
I was going to say blocking's a bigger issue.
Yeah.
This is an issue too, and we're starting to add up the issues.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit terrifying. I don't know. When I look at it, I'm uncomfortable with.
Do we know if OJ Howard's really getting full reps though in practice? Because
he's not getting full reps. He's the number 3 tight end. I mean, he's getting number 3 reps.
I mean, do we know that he's getting those even? Or
he's out there. He wouldn't have been out there on the field playing if he wasn't practicing.
Well, they're bringing him around slowly, so he's not getting all the reps he'd be getting. But yeah, he's getting the correct amount of reps.
Yeah, he's getting third string tight end reps, and then the guy is third string. And I guess this is the luxury of being a Bucs fan, and it's kind of fun, isn't it, to be sitting here going, I don't know about our third string tight end. I mean, That's
Well, that answers the question right there. He's third string tight end, and compared to his draft position, he shouldn't be a third string tight end. Period.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, they passed. I'm not going to bring it all back up, but I can just say there's a certain running back out there that the Bucs passed on. To a certain Minnesota, I believe, running back out there, and everybody still cries about it, and I've always been like, oh, just shut up. The OJ Howard's got a ton of potential. Well, great, you got a ton of potential. That's awesome. Great.
Think about this though, Rick. Instead of looking at it like that, look at it like this. The Raiders passed up Devin White.
That's a Gruden.
What? John Gruden? What?
Thought he was a genius.
Yeah, what a shame. The only guy who can get rid of Khalil Mack and then say, man, finding pass rushers is difficult.
And tried to take Khalil Mack back last draft.
Yeah, that's just hilarious to me. That's just hilarious to me. I mean, what a freaking just what an idiot. I mean, this is the thing that drives me nuts about him, and it just. John Gruden is a freaking idiot. Yes, he won a Super Bowl in Tampa. Yes, thank you. He was able to add a couple of pieces to Tony Dungy's roster and win a Super Bowl. They might not have won that Super Bowl with Tony Dungy. I'll give you all of that. And then he single-handedly destroyed this franchise for decades, or at least a decade and a half. John Gruden is the reason the Buccaneers sucked for a year and a half. Let me say it again. John Gruden is the reason the Bucs sucked for a year and a half. It's him. It's the fact that he slowly took all the pieces that worked and got rid of them and started bringing in guys that are, 60 years old. And, I won with Brad Johnson. Now, let me see if I can pull, I don't know. He's pulling, we brought freaking Tim Brown on the team. I mean, there's a point where what he did to the franchise was 15 years of damage after 1 year of glory. Would I trade those 15 years for that 1 year of glory? No, I would not. I'm happy with that 1 year of glory. Thank you. But he screwed up this franchise for 15 years. All right. I got that off my chest.
You better now?
Yes, I do feel better now. Now, and let me say this. I believe John Gruden's record every year he's been in Vegas or been with the Raiders, he's gotten better every year. But after 3 years, if you climb all the way to 8-8 or whatever they are, 7-9, he climbed all the way to 7-9. Great. Now you're in mediocrity. Dave and I have gone into great lengths in the past about my thoughts about teams that are mired in mediocrity, and I don't think that there's a better example than the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't see them improving significantly anytime soon. Mainly,
they're not going to get better. They're not going to get better, and they're probably not going to get worse. They are going to be middle of the road. They are mired there. They're not going to have high enough draft picks to have these big major impacts. By the way, I want to point out something about this, and I think this is interesting. And Bucs fans, wrap your mind around this, because this is something that is brand new to me. It's brand new to my head. It's brand new in my skull, which means don't put a lot of stock in it. Okay. But I was thinking the other day, I remember watching New England draft year after year after year at number 32 or whatever, and wondering how the heck do they keep getting all these players that are good at 32? And now the Bucs, God, Joe Tryon, I'm going to say it wrong, Sorianka, I don't know. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Okay. Why did that happen? It's because they had the luxury of taking a flyer at 32 on someone that had maybe some risks. Maybe some, some things we're not quite sure. Okay, he had sat out a year. There wasn't tape on him for a year. So he started dropping in the draft, and the Bucs had the opportunity to get the guy that dropped in the draft, a higher draft pick that fell. It's what New England's been doing for years. And now I think I understand why Belichick looked like he was so smart. He had the luxury of being smart.
Yeah, they don't have to draft for needs. And
No.
Well, they
And
didn't,
being
they didn't
32
really reach for him.
What's that?
They didn't really reach for him because he was
No.
at the beginning of the season when the first mock draft started coming out. He was predicted to go between 28 and 34.
Yeah, I don't think they reached for him. I think they got somebody who fell in the draft.
Well, that's what I meant. I don't think he fell that much because he was already projected like around 28 and 34. He fell right dead in the middle of it with us.
Okay, I thought he was projected to go like originally in the draft. I thought it was like 12th, I think it was what I was seeing.
Aaron said if he was in the top 10, if we had a top 10 pick, he would have been the same guy.
Well, they always say that. Every year they say that, no matter who they draft. We got the guy we wanted.
He's on
even
your
if you
team
get
now. Of course you're going to say that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't matter who you draft. You're like,
we'd have taken him higher. I mean, they're not going to say, well, we would have taken him lower, but
if somebody trades up, jumps you and trades up right in front of you and gets your guy, you're going to go, yeah, man, that's perfect. We got the guy we wanted. I mean,
amazing how that works consistently.
Yeah.
The third or fourth defensive end in the defensive end rankings. And that came up to like 28, between the 28 and 34 mark.
Okay. All right. I don't know why my memory is early in the draft from him being higher and on draft night, them talking about how he had fallen. I will tell you, to be honest with you, draft night's a bit of a blur for me after covering it for Bucs Report, that being my first draft for Bucs Report at Ferg's, and my head was kind of spinning. That was a lot. I had more players crammed into my skull than
you worked your butt. Hey man, congratulations once again on that draft night. You worked your butt off that week.
I did work my butt off that night.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that was and Dave came out all the way from Orlando.
I testify. Yes.
Yep. For Drew Pagonis, who says, "What has Cook done for Minnesota though? He is good when healthy, but he can't stay healthy." Yeah, you're right. Sound familiar? But what has Cook done? He has shown ability. Let me put it to you this way: remove OJ Howard from our roster and put Cook in there at running back. Are you happier? Yeah, I would say probably, but you know what?
The potential,
who cares? Who cares, right?
It's very high for both of them, and neither one of them hit their mark.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly right. Hey guys, we're at that point. I think it's time to have a little bit of fun here. Let's crack open the meme grinder. All right. I don't have a ton of these tonight. Just for those who don't know, the meme grinder is simply this. It's some memes that I saw this week that I think are funny or poignant or whatever. They may be football related. They may not be football related. They're just memes that we can have some fun with. So let's start with, a lot of people cry while chopping onions, but the trick is not to get emotionally attached.
When making chili, it's hard not to get emotionally attached.
That's right. I do get attached when making chili. Hey, Jacksonville, this is your best pro team.
Wow,
I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
A fact.
Yeah, I'm a fan. World War II, scissors beat paper. Oh man, that feeling when someone changes the game speed to fast in the settings.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the guy who said. Was
that picture taken right after he got that hit?
Yeah, probably. Probably. For those who don't know, oh my gosh, what's his name?
Justin Fields.
Thank you. Sorry, my I just drew a blank. Justin Fields made the comment that he didn't think the NFL. They asked him, does it seem much faster to you? And he said, no, it kind of seems slower. And then he went into the game this week and found out just how fast that game is. Someone introduced him to the speed that.
Welcome to the NFL, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little bit faster, just a bit.
Yeah.
You don't want to
Here
be
we
a
go.
rookie making that kind of noise.
You ready? Jameis Winston before LASIK surgery. Jameis after LASIK surgery.
Oh.
That was pretty funny. Now I have to do this because the angry producer is sitting next to me.
Oh my God. Oh.
That's awesome. I love that. Travis Kelce went from "your daughter calls me daddy" to "I'll have her home by 9, sir." All right, Eagles already in midseason form.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. All right. I swear to God, if we have to watch Tom Brady's son dominate the next 3 decades.
Oh. Keep that uniform and hat on, and I'll be.
That's right. Stay comfortable.
Work.
Stay comfortable, my friend. Stay comfortable. Here you go. Breaking news: the Los Angeles Lakers have signed Tim Tebow.
He hasn't tried basket. Yeah, maybe he'd be good at handball too. Professional handball.
You know what I think? I like
Maybe.
to picture. I picture the Bo Knows commercials where all of a sudden you see Wayne Gretzky just going, no.
Them are great.
We are going.
1-16.
They should not have put those two guys next to each other. They just should not have. And that's the meme grinder for this week, guys. It was a short one. I did a shorter version of it. But anyway, I want to talk to you guys. Last thing I want to talk to you guys about is the running game. Now I know they didn't focus on the running game. They didn't. I think it. Well, they basically said they weren't going to focus on the running game this week. That it was all going to be about the passing game. And I know Arians flatly talked about how he paid no attention to the score. So he did not coach a game at all for anything other than, as Johnny has told us, the entire thing he did was just to look at the players. Now, not all coaches do that. Some coach more to win. I think Bruce Arians, what we've seen over the last couple of years, doesn't care at all about what happens in preseason. To him, it's practice. But the running game. Now, Johnny, is it because they're just running a plain vanilla offense? What's going on?
Well, absolutely. And the offensive line, when the first team offensive line is not in, then you don't have that cohesiveness that you're used to.
Shouldn't they? Shouldn't they have that cohesiveness because they practice together all year because they have more coaches that this team has more coaches than it has players?
They're still limited to the snap counts, man. Okay. And the second, third strings don't have the snap count that the first strings have.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's just like you're saying, you got a lot of individuals there who are trying to get jobs. And a lot that are on the border of not having a job that had jobs. You understand? So it's a bunch of individuals trying to play for themselves a lot of the time. Just get noticed.
Rick, you're muted. Sorry about that. Who impressed you this week?
Impressed? I saw people that I felt like were going to have jobs keep their jobs. I think KJ Britt's going to keep a job. Stewart, even Arians even mentioned Stewart is probably going to make the roster. I was not.
Did Patrick O'Connor make the roster for sure? I mean, and secure his spot
at this moment. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, unless somebody blows him out.
Yeah, it seemed to me like he has his roster spot for sure, pretty much secured at this point. I mean, he I don't know. It seems to me like he's good to go at this point. I mean, if they cut him, I'd be shocked.
I think the only person that we drafted that doesn't have a spot somewhere is Chris Wilcox.
Is that not amazing? Grant Stewart, Mr. Irrelevant, is probably going to make this roster.
That's a great story, ain't it?
Isn't it? That is cool. I mean, the last guy drafted in the draft, the last guy, and he's shown up this preseason. I mean, he really has shown up. He's looked great this whole preseason. Mr. Irrelevant's probably going to have a spot on this team. What do you think about Keyshawn Vaughn?
He shines flashes of brilliance and then disappears. I don't.
Matt?
That's probably preseason stuff too.
Yeah, Matt, you have any thoughts on Keyshawn Vaughn?
I kind of agree with what Johnny's saying. When I watched him this week, he was getting all the carries, and I thought he was doing something. But then they showed his stats, and he had nothing. So I don't know.
Dave, any thoughts?
The
clock's ticking on. It's backwards. It's almost like he passes the eye test, but like Matt was saying, the numbers aren't there, and I don't see him. I don't see improvement on his part. I just see more of the same, and I think the clock's ticking, and he needs to step up, or he's going to be stepping out.
Yeah, this is my thought process on that. Is I feel like he was not put in a good position at all. I feel like they basically said, we're going to give you the bulk of the carries, but then we're going to put you behind guys who are fighting to make the team.
Right.
So
I kind of get that because that's what he's known for. I don't think they were looking at his playability as much as they were looking at his endurance in that situation.
Okay, and giving him the opportunity just to at least get hit some and get out there and mix it up some.
Right.
Okay.
And where's he going to go though? If we got Rojo and you got Lenny, and then you got Bernard.
Well, he's the fourth back.
Yeah,
he's the fourth back. I mean, I can't imagine who else is going to be the fourth back.
Do we need one?
Yeah.
You got to understand he's been blocking better also. So.
Well, yeah, I remember last year.
It wasn't hard to get better.
Right. Right.
It brought that D- up to a D. Congratulations.
Right.
Yay.
Yeah. Tim Witherspoon says, I think Vaughn's numbers haven't been there because he's running behind our worst offensive line packages. Yeah, I agree. And they're running very, 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 very vanilla offense. And I want to tell everybody this week. I want to remind everybody here before I close out the show. I want everybody to remember this. If you remember, this show has a mantra. What is the mantra? I will not overreact to preseason. I will not overreact to preseason. I will not overreact to preseason. Okay? I want everybody to wrap your minds, your hearts, everything around it now. If Houston beats Tampa in preseason, it doesn't mean, oh my God, the Bucs are not as good as Houston. Okay? So when it comes to that, when it comes to you guys all talking online and all of the craziness and all of,
stupid Bucs fans say.
Stop it, okay? Because it's preseason, and it's okay if Houston beats the pants off of this team. It's just going to make them more motivated.
I think the year we went 4-0 in preseason, during the regular season, they went 2-14 in 1983.
Yeah.
So, food for thought.
Yeah, I mean preseason means nothing. Nothing, guys.
It's
all
practice.
that matters is whether or not are these players getting the information? Are these players getting out there like they need to? Are we getting to see these guys in action and see what they can do? Because we have the largest and best coaching staff, I think, in the league. I know we have the largest, so everybody on this team gets a look. Everybody on this team gets a chance to develop. Everybody on this team gets a chance to become their best self. That is unlike what it's been like for the Buccaneers in the past, and it's unlike most every team in this league. The largest coaching staff in the NFL. There's a reason. Bruce Arians says flat out, I want to find the hidden gems. I want to find the diamond in the rough, and you can't do that if they're just watching other people play. Right. So that's one of the best things about Bruce Arians. Awesome, guys. First thing, Dave, I want to say thank you for being here tonight, and I look forward to working with you on Saturday nights on the post-game show.
Eagerly anticipating the regular season. I'm ready to get this preseason over with.
Yep, and I will see you Saturday night for the first shot.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good night.
All right, thanks.
All right, Matt, why don't you tell everybody where to find you?
Well, the Miscreants Mayhem show will be out this weekend for the post game. It's going to be done by Rick and David. Then the following week, first week of the year, we're going to be on Saturday night at 9 p.m. The day before the game, kind of a pregame before the pregame, and we want to see you guys there right here on Bucs Report. It'd be 9 o'clock Eastern time, and myself, Stephen Glasker, and Teresa Miscreant will be on to talk about everything Buccaneers.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Matt.
All right.
All right. And Johnny, tell everybody where to find you.
Right there at the NFL show here on Bucs Report, on North Sports Dynasty, and at What's Happening in NFL. You can find us at 9:30 p.m. Me and Alex Loosemore and our host of Crazy People. And that's all I got to say about that.
All right. And I will, once again, try to catch your show and maybe pop in if you'll have me.
Anytime you wish.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for coming by, Johnny.
Later, bud.
All right. Have a great night. Those guys are awesome. I appreciate all of you in chat tonight. You guys really brought it. I saw the comments. I was able to keep up as much as I could. Drew, yeah, I have to agree with you. And guys, I think, here's a great comment from Drew. The Lions went 4-0 into the preseason, or in the preseason when they went 0-16. That's a great stat. That is a great stat. Anyway, awesome stuff. I appreciate you guys big time. All of the comments, I do appreciate it in ways you guys just don't know. I appreciate every comment, every share, all of that you do for this show. It means a lot. Thank you so much for all of that. I am not kidding when I tell you it's important to the show when you hit like, when you hit share, when you do all of that. It's not a small thing for the show. It means it does mean a very, very big thing for us. One more thing. One thing we didn't talk about tonight, we didn't get to it, but I think it's important, is not just to understand something like, okay, we have Tom Brady. We talked all about that. We discussed what it's like being a Bucs fan and having the greatest of all time. But the thing is this, all the players on the team give every bit of everything they have to this team. And this is a collection of guys, as I said before last season started, I said that Jason Light put together a Super Bowl quality roster. Once again, that roster returns, all of it. So when we're sitting there talking about, Tom Brady and all of his greatness, remember this. Remember the guys in the front office. Take a minute and just remember those guys. And if you ever see them, if you go to a game and you see them walking on the sidelines or whatever, show your appreciation, because that's the architect of this whole darn thing, Jason Light. So anyway, thank you guys for coming. As always, I like to finish the show with the most important thing that there is to say. Always, always, always go Bucs.